Well, hello again everyone, and welcome to another tutorial in my How to Draw Gods and Goddesses of Ancient Egypt series. But before we start, of course, if you could subscribe, that would be fabulous. Thank you very much. And also, remember to ring that little bell icon. Okay, well, the ancient Egyptian god that I'm going to draw today is Ptah, P-T-A-H, one of the oldest and most significant deities. He is revered as the god of craftsmen, architects, and builders, and he is also divine patron of the arts. And he's so very important. So I'm going to start off with his profile, and start with his forehead here. Come down, and don't go in slight. Just keep on going straight down. The tip of his nose. Come back out again, and down to the upper lip, and you draw top lip like that, and the bottom lip. And then come down to the chin, jutting out. There's the jawline there. And just below that, we have a line of his eyebrow coming in, nice sweeping eyebrow. And below that, almost parallel to that, is the shape of the very typical Egyptian eye, which is long and sloping like that, and kind of this bit sticking out the end. So you get that shape there, okay, with the pupil in the centre. Now, Ptah is very often, well, probably usually all the time, is represented with a skull cap. So very kind of tight-fitting skull cap like this goes across the front of the forehead and then up in a curve like that. Almost like a crash helmet, you know, like that coming down. And then this part here goes behind the ear. The ear is in that space there. Okay, so there is the head. Also, of course, he's wearing a postiche, which is the false beard, symbol of the pharaonic power. And this is a very simply shaped one, which comes out, they're colouring up. It actually goes out and fans out like that and is shaped like that. Okay, and now Ptah is usually represented as a mummified figure, standing, holding a staff, and the staff is meant to represent the Ankh, which represents life, the Jed pillar, D-J-E-D, for stability, and the Was scepter, which signifies power. So it's kind of standing sideways on, you know. So what you do is, very much like a mummified figure, because it's quite narrow, like this, come down to the shoulder. So he's kind of sideways like this, and all the body is wrapped up. So you get that feeling of the necklet coming down and covering most of this part of the upper body here, right across to there. And actually, no, this comes down a bit further than that. Yeah, I'll rub that out in a second. This comes down to about here, and then it curves there. So the two shoulders are like that. And then, of course, you do get the curves on the actual necklet itself, and they are usually in different colours. We'll do that when we get round to the colouring, okay? Like that. Okay, then we have his back coming down like that, and his front. And you can imagine if he's being bound as a mummy, then you'll get the straps hanging down, the kind of spare straps coming down like that, almost like the ties of a robe or something coming down there like that. And then his hands appear out the side here, and he's holding that staff that I explained earlier. So this hand comes out there, the other comes out just below there, comes in here, like that. And he's gripping, so this one you would see the fingers gripping around the staff, like that. And this one, of course, is the other way, so the thumb comes out behind it, and then the fist is shown coming around there. And on both wrists, he will have wristbands, like that. Okay? And the staff is held upright like this, so I'll just put it in roughly just now. Show you roughly where it comes, in behind here, all the way down there, like that. And at the top it has the various decorations. So you've got four rather, horizontal bars like that, 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, I'll put them in properly later. And you've got these supports underneath there. And above that you have this symbol here, coming up to the top of the wasp scepter, which is there, which a head like that shape there, coming down. And you have this circular shape coming in there like that. Right, okay, now again it's quite a simple shape, a mummified shape, and all this is white to represent the bandages of the mummy. It goes down, right away down like that, very elongated, if you like, right down to the feet, like that, and the staff will continue right down to the bottom here, and split out slightly, and then before it reaches the bottom you get this shape here coming out here, and he's standing on a kind of pedestal which is sloped to the front, roughly like that. Okay, so I'll now sharpen up these lines here. In fact, what I'll do is I'll get my black pen and I'll go over those lines. First of all, I think, although what I'll do is I'll just go over it with my rubber slightly to take away any of the smudgy pencil marks which might affect the colours later on. Okay, as you can see, I've outlined all those shapes now with my black pen, and I forgot to add this little decoration that comes out the back of the necklet here on his shoulder. So I'll just go around it now with my pen, like that. Little kind of bell-like shape, it comes down like that, with little kind of tassels at the end there, and a couple of lines going across. Like that. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to colour it, and for that I'm going to use pens and a very simple selection. You see here there are 6 pens, green, red, blue, and a pale blue, yellow, and a black. Okay, and we're going to start off with the dark blue, and that is the colour of his skull cap. So we'll just start to go up to the line and colour all that in like that very carefully. Now the dark blue also is used in the wristbands there and there. You see it kind of there and there, which I'll fill in a second. And in the centre of this pedestal down here, that's dark blue as well. I don't think I've missed out any other bit. So I'm going to carry on with these and fill them in for you, and let's see what it looks like when I've done that. Okay, as you can see, I've done that now, the blue. Next colour I'm going to use is green, and like quite a few of the gods, when they're depicted in the tombs, their skin is green. They're meant to represent fertility. So I'll just go over these shapes now with my green pen, and I would do it in there too, there and there, and also there's a little bit of green in this shape here, and I think that's all. So I'm going to continue and do that, and let's see what it looks like when I've done it. Okay, that's the green done, and now I'm going to move on to yellow, and I find that the scepter and the staff, these parts here, are yellow right down to the bottom. This part's black. These ties are yellow, like that, and also some of the bands on his necklet are yellow too. Also, this decoration coming out the back is all yellow, coming down to that first line there, and then the last one is yellow too. Okay, that's the yellow done, around here as well actually, and also on the cuffs. So moving on to red now, and you find that the second one down from here is red, this little shape here. And you'll also find that there are stripes on his the bands rather come down here, like that. And also, on this decoration here, we have these stripy bands going across, like that, and a line of red there, like that. And also on the staff, we have bands, but they are little selections of 4 stripes like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a gap. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way down to the bottom like that. And also we have a red band in his necklet here, coming right down. So I'm going to do that, and I'll catch up with you later. Okay, that's the red done. Then the next colour is the pale blue, and that appears in the necklet coming around here, like that. Okay. Also here, and also these little tassels hanging down there. Okay, I think that's all of the pale blue. Now we move on to the final colour, which is black. Okay, move on to the black now. As you see, I've started putting the black where it's meant to be, at the top of the staff here, in these spaces here, on his beard, and at the bottom here. So I'll just continue and fill in these areas. Okay, as you can see, I've just finished outlining in black, used all the black, and also used a heavier line around the outside shape just to bring it out a bit more. Okay, and let's go around here. Yeah, well, that is Ptah, one of the oldest, and as I said, the most important deities of craftsmen, architects, and builders. He also, in the underworld, he actually reshaped the bodies of the souls in the underworld, preparing them for their eternal journey. So very, very important. Now, just to finish off, we have the hieroglyphic for his name. It's very simple, and it consists of a box shape like this. Right, simple box shape. And to the side of it, kind of semicircle like that, and then on top of one another 3 circles, 1, 2, and the third one is elongated. It comes and crosses over like that. So that's the simple version of the hieroglyphic for Ptah. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you can join me again very soon for another tutorial. But in the meantime, of course, all the best and happy drawing.